Hello, Steve Arts 9. Well, it looks like the Acolyte has been cancelled. It's not a huge surprise because it didn't have great ratings and there was a lot of criticism. Now, the show was pretty much doomed from the start because it was everything the Chuds hated. It was led by women. It was focused on female characters and looking at the Jedi and Star Wars from a different perspective and re-examining things that they just don't want to have questioned or looked into, and they hated it from the start and they're always going to give it a hard time. They're always going to trash it and review bomb it and everything. So it had all that, but then it actually turned out to not be great. So even if it was great, it probably still would have had to deal with all of that and would have had issues. But I think it started off with a lot of potential and a lot of people were rooting for it, and I'm excited about where it was going to go and the story it was going to tell and how it was looking at things. But it didn't take long for people to start to turn on it and realise that it wasn't going to pay off how they and where they thought. And by the end, pretty much everyone had turned on it and decided that it had failed in its potential and not been the show it could have been. So that's disappointing, that's sad. Apparently Leslie Headland had been planning a second season and was hoping to get a second season, but apparently it's been cancelled now. I don't know exactly where the announcement came from, but it seems to be a lot of outlets are covering the story, so it looks like it's real. So I'm just going to assume that it is. And it's a bit sad because, they're planning to do a second season, and I think the show did have potential. But yeah, it didn't realise that potential. And I'm not sure where it goes now. I mean, apparently it costs 180 million or something to make 10 episodes or 8 episodes and half-hour episodes. I don't know. It was a lot of money for very little interaction. And I think it got on the Disney charts for the first 2 weeks, and then after that dropped off in episode 3 or episode 4 and never came back into the charts. Between the Chuds and the actual bad word of mouth, it didn't really have much hope, but not sure if it really deserved, did it justify its own existence by the end? I'm not sure. I haven't watched it. But I don't have much else more to say about it because I didn't watch it. I don't really know what was happening. I just was aware that it was just being attacked in the beginning, and there was these bad will sort of people just started, and it wouldn't have mattered how good it was, they still would have gone after it. And then I started to hear negative things. I'm like, is this just more of the Chuds and they just sort of had started that, or is it actually failing to actually satisfy even the people who had been defending it in the first place? And it seems like that was the case. So it's a bit sad. I don't feel like I was proven wrong because I was right about the intentions of the people who were criticising it in the beginning. But sadly it turned out to sort of not be justified, but just to sort of not be good. So yeah, I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. I don't know, it's a bit of a worry. I mean, they're going to focus on the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, which just feels like trying to mine something that was popular a few years ago and trying to refine that sort of lightning in that bottle. But I don't know where Star Wars goes. There's no one leading Star Wars. George Lucas sold it. Kathleen Kennedy doesn't have a clue what to do with it, and no one else really gets it, and the fans are not happy with it, and it's just sort of lost at this point. It needs someone to helm it and give it a direction, and really it's just got a collection of executives and people who just are looking at it like content and like product, like, let's make a Boba Fett series. Let's just look at all the characters and give them all a series, and that's what fans want, right? They just want more of everything that was in the movies, right? It's like, I remember when George first